written by two professors from London Business School. It's one of the top business schools in the world, so they got this book. They got a newer book called Why Should Anyone Work Here? Right, so basically what we are looking at is in the context of cross-generation behavior. Now, people born in the 60s, even people born in the 70s, right? Why do you work? You're born in the 60s, you're born in the 70s, why do we work? We work because we need to pay the bills, right? So we need to work to survive. So people who are of an older generation don't ask so many questions about work itself, and don't ask questions about whether you like your boss or not. The older generation is you work for your boss because he's a boss, right? And you don't ask questions. And if you ask questions, get fired, and that's the end, right? So you work because you want to keep your job and you want to pay the bills. So that's older generation. Now is that, well, there are different expectations of work itself. There are also many choices of work. And again, unless you are really paying people really well, people who are working for you, especially the good people who are working for you, can actually work for someone else at even a higher pay. So what makes them want to work for you becomes a very important question in literature. So in the book itself, there are 4 things why people work for you, and it relates to what we have contributed. So, and eventually they kind of put it in a very easily remembered acronym. CASE. So, the first thing is, can you foster a sense of community? So things like bonding, things like sense of belonging, cooking together, do things together, do projects together, company trips, family day, all of this are what we call reinforcing a sense of community, right? And this morning we talked about ideal work environments for millennials, young people. Young people, do they like to work in an office or do they like to work from home? Actually, young people prefer office than home. Older people prefer home than office, if given the choice. Why? Same thing, if you are at home, who's going to give you the attention? No one. I want my boss to say, hey, this is my great work. No one is giving me attention. Why should I work from home? So that's why they are looking for nice offices, whatever nice means, whether it's Arta Place, or whether it's something like Google, where you got big bags and free flow or Starbucks coffee and whatnot. It doesn't matter, they want to have good environment, they also want to have good attention from all around so that they can get the recognition. Same thing, they like to work with some place where everybody can work together, they like to have a sense of community. Right? If you work from home office, there is a lesser sense of community because almost you're working alone. So that's, if you want to make people work for you, partly it's not just me, it's not just a leader. You are working for this community, you are working for your team. The reason that you are burning your weekends, you are burning your overtime hours without overtime pay, is not because the company wants you to do it and you do it for the company. It's because there's something more that requires out of you, whether it's the leader or the team, there's a sense of community. Right? So that's number 1. Number 2 is we talk about being fair, not so much being fair, being truthful, building the trust. It's about being authentic. Authentic can be what we call interpreted as showing yourself, being yourself, but not totally being yourself. What do you mean by not totally being yourself? It doesn't mean you are being authentic, you just say what you think without further consideration. It means that you like to show a bit more of yourself with a bit of tact. Right? You want to be polite, you don't want to be rude. It's about being true to your ideals, your values, and as a result being true to your team. right? It's something that you demonstrate your values and sometimes your fears, your concerns, and sometimes even the way things that you are not good at, you're vulnerable at, and let the team know and let the team understand what kind of support you need. Right? Again, traditionally, a lot of leaders, it's like if you're a leader, if you're a manager, you want to project the image that you know everything. You can do everything. You can never be wrong. Again, today is every day you have something new, you learn something new. There's always a lot of changes. So as managers, as leaders, there will be times you will be wrong. Everything is changing. It's not about not you not doing the job, it's the sign of times. So if you know that there will be times that you will be wrong, you might as well tell a team that, well, I think this is the answer. But then again, I am not 100% sure that this is the answer. I can be frank with my team. I don't think this is the right answer, but then again, I could be wrong. What do you think? And so you can be more open to suggestions, different ideas, even challenges from people in the right way about what needs to be done. Also, as a leader, you can say that, no, in the past 10 years, this is what I've done. And then times change. What I know is slowly become obsolete. So what I need from you is to support me in different areas. Right? Things like if you are in the auto parts industry, anyone realize there's a huge change in automobiles, cars, especially this year. Cars are becoming electric. Buses are becoming electric. Right? So if you are an automobile engineer, all your life you are doing internal combustion, fuel-type cars. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, sorry, we are going to change. Right? You got 30 years of experience in fuel injection. Now you are going to electric. But although the company is not going to tap on your expertise, they are not tapping into your engineering skills, they are tapping into your management and leadership skills. So you are going to work with people that know a lot of things that you don't know. Right? You cannot tell people from the engineering point of view what to do because it's irrelevant now. But because there are so many years in managing engineering teams, managing projects, you know how to manage projects and people. So that's why you hire as a manager. So you can be authentic and say that, I don't know anything about this. I do know about some principles, but not much. What is it that you can help me explore? Still being authentic, we are doing real self without being rude. It also doesn't mean that you have to disclose everything. There are certain things that are private to you and you don't have to say. There are certain things that are confidential. You also don't have to tell everything. Right? You can tell people it's confidential and it's fine. The third one is to make people feel significant, that there is a meaning to their jobs, that they are not working for nothing, that there is something that is of higher purpose, or it's something great that they have made a contribution. Right? The work is valued, they are well valued in the company, so you want to make sure that they are something that is well appreciated. So it goes into what we mentioned about giving recognition, giving affirmation. We will say about giving awards. Well, awards can be just verbally about specific things. And it needs to be specific. Why? Anyone worked with American companies before? Solely American company, right? So sometimes Americans are very bad at this. In the sense that, American big bosses, sometimes they like to go around the world and tour their factories. And the big bosses, whenever they see someone working in the factory, as long as you are from the company and as long as you are still alive, they will come and say that, good job, well done. So everywhere they go, it's good job, well done, like they're very excited. Right? The first time you listen to them saying, good job, well done, wow, it's very nice, oh, American CEO says good. By the fifth time, how do you feel? Nothing, no meaning. Normally no meaning, it's like it's fake. It's not authentic, it's fake. It's like just saying this just for the sake of making people happy only. Right? If you want to make people feel significant, you got to tell people that during a certain time, whatever certain time, certain need, certain situation. This is what you did. Right? We need people to do overtime, we need to think, we need people to do some contributions, and what is the impact? You don't need to use flowery language, but you need to tell people specifically what happened, what you did, and what are the impacts. These are very, very simple structures that make people feel significant, that they really made a contribution, and it's not for nothing. Last one is somehow you are able to make people feel excited about what they work or what they do. But there's something about the work, no matter how boring it is, no matter how mundane it is, what is it that can inject some level of excitement? Just give you an example. Anyone companies, especially if you work for Japanese type companies, have got those quality control circles or quality improvement circles. Yeah, you see those quality improvement circles. What I do is basically this started from factory workers. Every day, day in, day out, they do exactly the same thing. So it can be a very boring job. So on the one hand, yes, it's true that people, the Japanese companies are trying to improve quality. And the best way to improve quality is to have some bottom-up feedback. Not just managers see that there are quality issues to improve, but workers that are doing the work, sometimes they can actually see things that managers don't see. Right? So, and this is an American idea that went to Japan and made Japan how successful in the 80s and 90s as it was, quality control. So we have this QCC quality improvement, sometimes it's called total quality management. So you have quality management groups. You get people, even factory workers, to come together as a group, right? They're low-level workers, and discuss on what is the one thing that they observe can be done better. And then they come with a case, they are given tools on how to justify their decisions, how to justify their proposals, and then they propose to management. One area that, if you change one thing, how things will be better. Right? It's just that little thing. On the one hand, the company benefits because, hey, I got a lot of feedback, we can be better. On the other hand, the little teams, people who are doing very boring jobs, can get something out of boring, and it's something that's contributing to the company. So it's not just like, oh, that's the way we have boring jobs, so we take breaks, we play basketball, we play billiards, and we do cooking. Not just that, but you kind of enrich their jobs by doing something that they feel exciting. They also feel significant because now, when they come together as junior level workers, come up with a proposal, they actually present in front of senior management. Right? So if you live in hierarchical Asian societies and you want to really reach out to management, it's not that easy. Now, because you are doing this kind of work, you have this brainstorming and present your proposal, you have your chance to impress senior management. It is exciting. It is also feeling significant. My work is not just, I'm not just a screw in a huge machinery. There's something that I'm contributing that's bigger than me. So there's a feminist concept, right? So these are some of the things that what we can do to make the work more exciting. So on top of that, coming back to this. Oh, sorry. Before we go into the video on cross-culture communication, there is this thing called lateral leadership. Right? There are different leadership models that are called. There's also this thing called servant leadership. So lateral leadership is being responsible for the results produced by a team without formal authority over the team members. Now, how does that happen? Why is it that we have this thing? You are responsible for someone who does not report to you. In other words, if that person do not produce good results, you cannot fire them. But if that someone produces bad results, you will be held responsible. Not a very nice deal. So how does that happen? Right. One thing that's happening in organizations is that even for traditional manufacturing organizations is you have a lot more cross-department collaboration. So your team is not your direct reports. Your team are people from other departments. You can only influence them to work for you. You cannot say order them to do something. Everything is just based on influence only. Right? So that's what's happened. The guys next door from Tenaga,